Welcome to another edition of Rep Rap. I'm joined today by Peter Morrissey to my left, who is an expert in reputation management and reputation communication. And to my right, Paul Gillen, who is an expert in social media. Paul has published a number of books on this subject and is a particular specialty in how messages get out there on the internet, and then what do you do about them when they've landed. I was thinking this weekend about the NFL is going after players who deliberately headhunt other players, helmet-to-helmet collisions. And it reminded me that in the NFL and in most sports, you've got a referee. In the internet and the blogosphere, there doesn't appear to be a referee. There just appears to be whatever you want to put out there is out there, and there's no way to call it back. Let me ask you first, Paul, do you see that we're eventually going to have to get a referee? We're going to need some way to manage and edit and delete what's out there?
It's too late for that. I mean, the cat is out of the bag, and everybody. I think freedom is an assumption now on the internet. People just assume that they're going to be able to say whatever they want. And I think if you tried to come in now and assert some sort of big brother government agency, which would have to be done on a worldwide basis, of course, some sort of agency that mediated what people said, it would simply be, it would never get off the ground. You would never get all the different constituents around the world to agree on who that entity should be and what that entity should do.
And Peter, this is back in the reputation side of things. Once that's there, you know, if you can't undo that damage, then that damage sort of does you in or does your reputation. What do you tell people when they say, well, what do I do here?
I say the first step of good reputation is good actions. If you are a nefarious person or a bad person and you do bad things, then ultimately those your deeds will become known. You will have a bad reputation, logically. And if you do good deeds, hopefully over a period of time your good deeds will rise to the top. I was taken, Ernie, with your comment about the NFL cracking down, playing the role of the referee. In the internet, the referee is indeed the marketplace because things that are credible eventually get more viewers, people take them to heart, and people take a look. And then if things are obviously negative over a period of time and untrue, they get, eventually they're dispelled and people lose trust in them and they don't put any faith in them. You know, that's
And you've noted, Peter, that we're now seeing this emergence of these services that will kind of clean your past up for you.
Tabula rasa, start with a clean slate.
Yeah, start with a clean slate, but
for
if
$29, no less.
For $29,
you can't get your windows washed for $29, but you get your entire. It's like going to a confession and getting complete absolution. As soon as you walk out, you have no longer sinned. You're now completely.
I like that idea.
You're a nice feeling of freedom, but
and it's far less than $29.99.
Right, it's probably not credible, Ernie. I think buyers beware. I don't think there's any service that can eliminate your misdeeds or your bad deeds. If you're a bad person, ultimately you'll be found out. You might be $29.95 lighter after that, and you might have a little gratification. But these services are kind of a fool's game, I think.
One question that occurs to me, something on NPR today that talked about how people are just all too willing to give up their security. So something that comes at them on the internet, you know, let's play this little game. You know, Google is doing this. Let's play this game. In exchange, if you want to play this online game, you've got to give your name, your phone number, your hometown, and a couple of other pieces of information. The concern is that people, in exchange for that, you know, mild pleasure of playing this online game, are willing to just hand over their all this secure information they wouldn't give somebody, a total stranger on the street. So, are we, in some ways, our own worst enemy? We're not protecting our own privacy and security. Does it start with us?
Oh, I think it does, and it's you're right. It is amazing what people do, even after all these years. What people are willing to give up online. I've read an article recently about the number of people who respond each year, who get skinned each year by responding to the email from the Nigerian princess you know, who's got all the money they're gonna give.
We've all seen that.
Right, that's a scam, that scam is 15 years old, and yet people still respond to it, people still get taken in by it. People are phishing with a PH on the internet is a huge problem because people are willing to click on a link that says it's from PayPal, even though PayPal is spelled with 3 L's, right? They are willing to click on that link and give up credit card numbers and such. It's amazing what people will do. Ultimately, it does come down to we have to protect ourselves, and fortunately, the Lord protects the stupid because this kind of stuff does take people in still to this day. To your point, I think we've got to be aware the internet was not designed to be a secure medium. It was designed as it was designed to share, not to secure. And so we're trying to layer security on something that really was never intended to be used securely, and it's never really going to be good at being a secure network. So buyer beware.
Okay.
Right. You may remember, Ernie, a few years back, and actually quite a while back, there was a movie called The Great Imposter, and then there was another movie called Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
And this is a bit of that. What's happening on the internet is Catch Me If You Can.
Tony Curtis in the first.
Leonardo
DiCaprio.
Very good.
Yeah, Tony Curtis.
Rep Rap is kind of a movie show too.
Yes.
So we know the good movies, and the good movies went
That's
on.
right.
The bad movies also live on in infamy.
Rep Rap on movies that shows on the weekends, as our viewers know.
But the idea, though, that obviously Catch Me If You Can was you might be one step ahead of your true identity and what you really are, but eventually truth catches up to you.
Well, and now your truth arrives sometimes before you do. It's a very different acceleration of reputation now. So you arrive and people already know. If you go into a job interview, they've done a background on you. They know who you are. Those tools are there. So for better or worse, you've got some explaining to do. You know, when you arrive, maybe not all of it's true, but
it is really not disconcerting, but it is a little bit interesting when you walk into a meeting and somebody says your reputation truly does precede you.
Yes.
They know all about you when you come in, and they start telling you things about you. See, how you say you have to stop yourself for a second and say, how did that person know that so quickly?
Right.
They've done their homework in advance.
But it is interesting, you know, the point you bring up of background checks, which I've read, I think 75, 80% of HR, corporate HR professionals say they have done background checks on people over social networks. And we all, you know, our mistakes and our foibles are much more visible out there right now. You know, we screw up and fall off a third-story balcony. Somebody's there with a flip cam to capture it, and we're on YouTube the next day. You know, and so our personal embarrassment becomes a matter of public record.
And there seems to be a insatiable appetite in the market for, you know, baddest. I mean, you just can't go low enough to get in the market. I think the one thing that might save you in that situation is that these things have no shelf life at all, because something worse is right around the corner and just drops whatever you did to the bottom of the pile.
It's interesting how this affects organizations, because corporations, particularly many corporations, have worked a long time on a layer of an outward perception of sort of invincibility or invulnerability. They were completely in control, and they hired a lot of expensive people to make it look like they never made mistakes. The mistakes were always covered up.
Those are lawyers.
Mistakes are not going to be covered up. Lawyers, they're advertising agencies,
Yes.
they're public relations agencies, people who were experts in sort of sweeping the vulnerabilities away. That's not going to be so easy anymore. And I don't see how any corporation in the future is going to be able to maintain an outward image of invincibility when your mistakes are so quickly publicized. And how does that change the way they manage their reputation?
We know, Paul, that they were never invincible to begin with. They might have had that persona of invincibility. But Ernie, it's been wonderful here speaking with you on Rep Rap. We'd love to be back again.
Thank
Paul,
you.
as always.